All right. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back for another edition of our Rising Phoenix, a podcast on human design that is focusing on our weekly transits, focusing on what is coming for 2027. It is really such a pleasure having you for this first Sunday of 2022. A couple of announcements before we start, and then we will go into our usual understanding of the transit, taking a look at the weather, taking a look at what is going on at the moment. And mostly we're going to talk about this cross of tension that is quite remarkable that we have at the moment, with all, the usual goal setting for the new year, the usual all motivation and stuff like that for the new year, the so-called new year that I like to call like the, I don't remember the name in Harry Potter, but I call the normal humans like the muggles or something like that. So it's kind of like the muggles new year, Anyway, my first little announcement, this is recorded. So we have a recording, and it is for all of you who are listening to the podcast on iTunes, all of you who are listening to the podcast on Spotify, and all of you who are watching the live recording on YouTube. It is a real pleasure to have you back. I know that in 2020, I believe, Tom and I started the podcast. We started a little bit after that COVID started on planet Earth. So it was kind of interesting broadcasting the news from the spaceship 62 perspective, observing and witnessing what the hell was happening on planet Earth. We had such a good time for the 2020, the year. And here we are, we're still here. We're still doing our weekly transits. We had a lot of things happen, a lot of different experience with the Hub 27, the creation of the Hub 27. We had different view, different way of doing our podcast, of doing our weekly transits. And we have few announcements for that. Before I continue, here is on Spotify. So for those of you who are listening Spotify, you guys know how to find us. But in case this is Human Design System, Rising Phoenix, you can just put Benjamin Thor, and you should be able to find all the episodes that we have been doing, Tom and I. So you have 2 seasons, 4 episodes per season. Cheryl was with us as well. So Cheryl, who is she's a 62 projector, splitting projector. So you have a lot of information here if you want to go. We have the same on iTunes as well. So if you go on podcast, iTunes library, you have all those episodes. And thank you to Jennifer, who is going to be my new virtual assistant for this year. So she's helping me to get everything back together and to upload all the relevant information that we have been broadcasting, transmitting, sharing. So thank you, Jennifer. Really thumbs up to you, because without her, I wouldn't be able to do all of that. That's my first little announcement, I believe. Second things that I would like to say regarding the podcast, and then we're going to start into the transit. So thank you for still being here and listening to us. Tom and I really going to focus on transits. I know that lately we have been really opening, everyone have been sharing, we have been sharing a lot of information, but also listening a lot of your daily mundane life and whatever is happening with everyone, which is great. But we would like to go a little bit more back specific to human design and really transmitting information, paying attention on what's going on with the transits. If we have relevant things according to the transits, it is always a pleasure to listen from you, comments, observation or questions. But we would love to get back to fully pay attention on what is going on, to focus our intention and attention on the deconditioning process, and to really keep it very simple. So to always go back to the basic. The basic are very simple. at least in human design, strategy and authority. We invite projector and we ask two generators. The mind is the beast. The mind is really the beast, and the mind doesn't want to let go. And you know, this year really shocked me very, very strongly. And I have this realization deeply since we started the transit with the hexagram, the sun in the hexagram 38, the opposition in the wheel with the 39, grounded into the 39, the earth. So we have this 38, 39, which is, you know, the cross of tension, the tension that brings to us to remember. This is still about the past. This is still about the past. You know what's funny is that everyone on New Year is like, you know, Happy New Year. This is time to look towards the future. This is time to set some new goals and new blah, blah, blah. But no, not at all, not at all. This is still the past. The new year doesn't happen before January 22nd when the sun hit the hexagram 41 in the mandala wheel. We are still in the game. And the 38, 39 is really here to create some sort of tension for us to look back on whatever we have been doing this year, doing, being, having, you know, whatever the case is. And this tension that the transit brought to me really, really about acknowledging how wrong I have been thinking that I was living in some way my design, you know, in some way, always initiating and trying to make things happen. Even when I thought I was still waiting, I was still asking people around me, can you ask me a question? Can you ask me a question? Can you ask me a question? Still trying, right beyond, I can see you laughing, but still trying to get something happen. Still trying to get something to do, still trying to get someone asking me question because I was feeling uncomfortable in the body of just being still and waiting to respond. I'm speaking from Mercury. Mercury at the moment, communication and thinking, the gate 60, limitation, the gate of acceptance, fifth line, leadership. Can you hear? I'm taking the lead. I'm taking the lead and I'm sharing with you how I realize deeply, deeply that I'm limited. I am deeply limited in this body, The passenger consciousness sitting in my body, observing, witnessing life. It's getting very uncomfortable sometimes. Still trying to take action, to do something, to be busy doing something. Anyway, that's the opening. That's the opening. January 2nd. Happy New Year to everyone. At least Happy New Mughal New Year 2022, right? Tom, welcome back to the podcast. Tom Piefer with us, 6'2", born under the cross of migration, manifesting generator. Tom, I'm so grateful for, you know, having you, Tom, our friendship, all those months and years now that we have been together. You are sitting in Boulder, Colorado. How things are doing for you, Tom? Would you like to speak, say something?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for recognizing me. Thanks for asking me. Mm-hmm. This is an incredible moment in time, you know, and stop and think about time. Look at what's in the transits. It's all individual. It's all individual. We have pressure from the bottom with the 60. We have inspiration from the top with the 61. We are in a pressure sandwich here in the channel, in the quarter of mutation with nothing but mutation. There isn't anything else there. I mean, there's a couple of little adjectives, but all the life force channels right now are about mutation. It is a time to shift. If you're coming from the old way, fear, it's tension. It's just pure tension. It's trying to kick your butt and get you to pay attention, okay? If you're coming from what is coming, the new way, more love motivated than fear motivated, it's creative tension. What a beautiful thing it is. We are being forced to find the spirit. We are being forced to look for purpose in life right now. It's not the new year yet. You want to mess up things? Change the timing. Don't follow your strategy. Don't follow your authorities. Mess with your timing. Go outside and take the timing belt off your car and see how far you can get with it. I mean, it's one of the things that's so strange about this world is that the timing is way off. All right? So at any rate, the 3839, cross of tension. It's the gate of provocation in the grounding, and it's the gate of struggle or the fighter trying to find what they want to fight for. It's an incredibly beautiful thing that we're being offered if you're paying attention, and if you're paying attention with the motivation of union and love and coming together rather than competition and fear and battlegrounds. It's a very simple choice. I think that it is why we are all here. If you were thrilled with how life is going right now, you'd be out there living your thrilling life. We're here paying attention to try to find a better way. It's pretty clear that what's going on is not sustainable, nor is it very satisfying. So it is a good thing to look at the transits deeply and see just exactly what is there. And there is nothing but mutation. And if you look at the quarter that we are in, we're in the second half of the quarter of mutation. Ben had a birthday. Happy birthday, Ben. Then we went to the 58. We're seeking the joyous. And all that so-called holiday, which are actually supposed to be holy days as opposed to holidays, okay? Then we go into the 38, right after Christmas, the struggle. That's where we're at right now. The struggle to find purpose, to make sure that we do not participate in Groundhog Day and just repeat the same pattern every year. This is not a circle. This is a spiral. It's moving somewhere. We all know, based upon our interest in the year 2027, that we are moving towards something entirely different than anything that we have ever experienced. If you're love motivated, you're really going to enjoy it. If you're still competitive, you're really going to hate it. If you're a part of the future, you're going to start relaxing. If you're a part of the past, you're going to start sweating. So there's really something to pay attention to. How many times have we heard that thing? Pay attention. I love these two-word things. Pay attention. Love yourself. And if you're not content and comfortable in your body, it's because you're experiencing an identity crisis. That's what human design is all about, to try to get you back to the innocence of being yourself. So let's continue in the wheel. After the struggle, what do we have? The fuel for the transformation process, the 54, the marrying maiden, the ambition. What are you ambitious for? That's the 54, the most mystical of all the lines, the 54-4, enlightenment and darkenment. Coming up soon, folks. Are you choosing the light? Are you choosing the dark? Are you choosing union? Or are you choosing separation? Are you mutating or are you trying to get back to normal? This is what's in our face. Where do we go from there? Where we have to really look at what we're trying to do. We go back, we return to the inner truth. Return to the inner truth, the 61. Look at what it says. You have Pluto and something else in the 61 right now. Take a look and read those things and see what it actually has to say to you. Pay attention to these transits. If you're paying attention to the transits, then the contributions that you'll have to make when we ask you to speak will be about that. It's not that we don't care about your life, but I'm not interested in your job. I'm not interested in all that stuff. I'm interested in, are you willing to shift? Are you willing to be a part of what is coming? Are you busy, 2034? Are you busy mutating? Are you busy finding the spirit? Are you busy returning to the innocence of the inner truth and coming up with a breakthrough that you can explain? Then you hit the 60th hexagram. Are you aware of the limitation? Are you aware of what the limitation is? If so, when you come to the 41, the beginning of the new year on the 22nd, you're going to be making a shift. That's the whole point. There is no other point. Transformation. It's coming. You want to be a part of it? You want to be in the way, or you want to be the way? It's very clearly delineated. And then the last gate, who are you listening to? What are we going to approach? And look what the quarter of civilization is again. Are you listening now? The 13th hexagram, the brotherhood of man, fellowship of man, the gate of listening. Are you listening to something different now than what you were a year ago? If so, you're a part of the progressive movement. If not, oh well. All right, I'm complete, Ben, for now.
Yeah, you good for now?
Yes.
I loved it. Thank you, Tom, for sharing all of that. It's really, really good. When you spoke about timing, I was really listening at the chart, at the body graph, and then I realized there is no gate activation at all in the heart center, nor in the identity, nor in the spleen center. We really have three completely total open center. So the timing today, it's really not about forcing anything with the will. It's really not about trying to be what we think we should become, or trying to initiate a new direction or whatever we think we should go and something like that. And it's really not about worrying about our future or having any fear for survival. We are deeply in a mutative state at the moment. So it's really about letting go of fake identity, surrendering our will, stop being afraid for survival, because we know that the transit is deeply taking care of us and taking us in a deep mutation. As you said, we have the 6124, it's deeply mutative, individual. The 2034, individual, deeply mutative. The 3955, deeply individual as well, mutative. And it's all about timing. The individual circuitry is really all about timing. And I know I've been trying to force the last 2-3 days, initiating a new flow, a new pattern, a new rhythm. We can see the fifth gate here coming out of the sacral, the fifth gate in Mars that is usually, immature decision. I was trying to fly back to Los Angeles. I was like, okay, I need to go. I need to go. Feeling the pressure from the root. The pressure pressuring me with the gate 60. I feel limited. There's all this limitation. Maybe if I initiate a new flow, I can overcome the limitation of what it is in the now. I need to be busy. I'm not busy enough. Beyond, I can see you laughing again. Oh my God, right? Oh. And then I exhaust myself. I mean, that's what I'm dealing with. I'm really dealing with this whole business of, what am I doing? Is it good enough? Why I'm doing all of that? My mind telling me you should be more on Instagram. You should do more videos and why you're not doing all of that. And it's really hard. It really is hard. You know, I really thought about doing more YouTube videos on really being authentic and vulnerable and being very honest with people, to simply demonstrate this is not what I choose to nourish anymore. I don't want to feed that anymore. I don't want to fight anymore. I mean, the 38, this is the sun right now. What is the name of the 38? Opposition, the gate of the fighter. What do I choose to be in opposition with? Is it worth fighting for? We have a total, completely open heart center in the body graph right now. It is not about proving anything. It is the pure wisdom to recognize what is worth fighting for, what is worth standing in opposition. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't even know how to do it. To go out there and trying to manifest new things and there's a struggle. My body's no. And the mind is screaming, yelling. Why? But why? You need to go get a job. You're lazy. You haven't worked. You need to go to start new class. You need to make more money. You need to do that. Your survival. How can you survive? What kind of direction are you taking? This is nonsense. You don't bring any contribution. You don't do anything. You know. But the truth, Pluto, as Tom say, look at the name of Pluto right now. Appeal, the 6th line. Hexagram 61, inner truth, the gate of the mystery. There is a call here. There is a massive call. The program, those forces, they are laughing at us. They are calling. Can you answer the call? 6th line, appeal, the profound attunement to the collectivity that can lure the public to the truth. Inspiration that can bring clarity to the collective. Where do I choose to focus my inspiration? What am I finding inspiring? You know, am I answering the call of nonsense or am I answering the call of truth? And truth as a generator, wait to respond. I don't want to initiate anymore. I realize deeply that inside of me, there's this life force energy that is set on a mechanic to wait. It's not about initiating. I'm not a manifester. I see that. I feel that inside of me. When I wait, it builds up. The energy builds up inside of me to respond. Yes, Tom, please.
Wow. The 5th gate, fixed rhythms, a ritual, waiting as a guarantee of survival. Interesting, isn't it? Waiting as a guarantee of survival. Let's read the other. The exaltation, the creative genius to transform the most passive, apparently, experience into active achievement. Think about that. Look at the detriment, the vanity of a personality so strong that unwilling to hide behind a blind threatens its very survival. How amazing is that? The 61. Ben just gave you the 6th line, the capacity to, the profound attunement to the collectivity that can lure the public to a truth. If you're running around like a dog chasing his tail, you'll never be doing any of that. That's why it's so important to pay attention right now, because this is what we gather for. We gather to come up with a profound attunement to perhaps lead the collective to a public truth. Back to the inner truth. What a moment for the 6-2s right now, because the other 61 is in a 2. We have the 6-2. And what is the 2? Natural brilliance. Gifted by this position, a far-reaching, a nourishing influence, free of guile and powerfully attractive. We all know we're moving towards the 6th line. The detriment of that, in early recognition of its influence, becomes ego-obsessed with maximizing the effects. If you've got the right attitude, the facts don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still adhering to the old way, there is no success possible. If you're adhering to the new way, allow yourself to be surprised at how living a more relaxed, more centered, more attentive life is more satisfying than anything else. You have what you need. Count your blessings. Don't count what you don't have. You will attract more of not having. Count your blessings. Enough for now, but I love when Ben speaks, it just so much wells up in me to respond to.
Mm-hmm.
So much wells up in me. And when I speak, so much wells up in him to respond to. This is when we're being ourselves. If we have to sit here and perform for you guys, that's when we're not self. And it's not energizing. It's frustrating. But when we have something to respond to, what we have to say would actually be of value. When a projector is invited into a conversation because they felt recognized, what they have to say is going to be absolute guidance for everyone. We have this capacity to ignite in one another our true selves. Mm-hmm. Literally ignite it, our true selves, if we follow the strategy, follow the authority, watch the transits. We can see what the universe is offering. That's what the transits are doing, offering something to you. And we think we have to go out and get it. Oh boy. All right. Back to you, Ben.
I'm just responding to what you just say. Like, we think we have to go out and get it. It's just, it's the real cross of tension. It's the real cross of tension, because, I mean, the more I'm going deep into this experimentation, the more I'm really letting go and really surrendering to what really human design is, and to what really it means to live according to my nature, to live according to my design, to live according my true nature, my strategy, my authority, waiting to respond, waiting to be asked, not engaging into anything unless I've been asked, unless I know it's a unless I know I do have energy, unless I know it's energy is here, it's available for me to enter into whatever the case is, relationship, friendship, new job, partnership, business. I mean, big decision. Obviously, I'm not going to wait that someone asks me, do you want to go to the bathroom and dump a poop? No, I know, I just go. But for major, thing in my life, the more I really experiment, the more I'm coming to the conclusion that I really must be insane to go into this experimentation, because my mind is like, what the hell are we doing here? We're not gonna get what we want. So why are you going into this experimentation? We are not going to get what we want. The mind is yelling at me. And that's the truth. When you go into your experimentation, you will never, ever get what you want. You will never. Because it's not about getting what you think you want. And I remember last year spending some time with Tom. Tom was sharing with me, oh, you know, we usually don't want what we think we want. And I was like, this is intriguing. And it's true. Often in life, I was like, oh, I want to have this. I want to have that. When I will have this, I will be happy. And I want to manifest that. And I want to have this. And often, every time that I had all those things, I was like, oh, that's not really what I expected. It doesn't really bring the joy that I expected, you know, when I will achieve all those things, or when I will get all those things. And then I was a bit disappointed. I was like, fuck that. Let me try to get something else. So the tension that this new year is bringing to me, that's what it is. I used to really write down all my goals and, you know, all of that. And don't get me wrong, it's nice to have some goals. It's nice to have some ideas of what we really want in life, you know, to be clear. What do you want in a relationship? There's nothing wrong with that. In a relationship, I know I want a person that is healthy, a person that has a good communication, a person that has, you know, it's good to be clear. But ultimately, we want the feeling of satisfaction, personally, as a generator, to feel good. So it doesn't matter which experience or which person, what kind of thing that will come to me and deliver its promises by responding to get satisfaction. So that's really the transit right now, what I'm seeing, what I'm personally experiencing. I don't know if it resonates with you guys. We're going to open the floor if you do have any questions, comments, observation. But so far, that's this tension that has been here for me to recognize, like, I see now, who would want to go in this experimentation and not getting what they think they want out of life? I can see now why people, they love talking about design. They love masturbating with design. But how many really are willing to sit and let go and back off and fully experiment? It's quite interesting. So what about maybe if you guys have any questions, comments, observation, anything related with the transit today, anything relevant that you feel sharing? And then Tom, would you like to go again through the wheel, and maybe we can talk about this New Year resolution, you know, this business of like people, why do they have this pressure to set goals and to make commitment with themselves, to make some sort of agreement, or this year I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week, you know, and why we have this pressure every year, every new year, and what is really happening during January? Because I've been feeling lately, the last 2-3 years, that January is such an incredible month to witness mutation for me, to witness big transformation with the gate 38, then the 54, then we have the 61, the 60, really to reach the limitation. And when we, bam, limitation, it's when usually click. For most of us, the year really start end of January. We feel that. So anyone, any questions, comments, observation, projectors, please feel free to reach your hands. So I know Bjorn, I think Bjorn, Nina. So Bjorn, Nina, I think you're the 2 projectors. So you are really invited at any time. And for generators, anyone have a question or would like to say something? Yes, Jenna, please. Do you have to say something? Do you want to say something, Jenna?
I do, yes. And hopefully the audio and my service works. What I thought was really neat and with Jen is just that trusting what shows up and then seeing how transit taps it in, because this morning I woke up just thankful for Jen not having her group call weekly, because it's not giving me the like, whatever the mental masturbation idea that you said, like I see that in myself of like, I've just been like trying to get myself to this space of feeling good. Then I've had all this space and I'm just responding and doing whatever I want. And the results I'm getting is just, it's wild to really see things come into fruition that I've been working on for a year. So it was just really cool to see that aligned. And I still am in that pressure space. And actually with my community, I have about 1,000 people that are very engaged, and I show up and like, it is this whole talking through goal planning. And like, I'm very much about like going against all standards, expectations, and ideals and creating what works for you. And I'm in discovery of that. Like, today I was going to do a vision board. I'm like, but do I do it on the 22nd now? Or I just like go into this trying to figure it out thing, and giving all that up at the same time too. But everything you said today, just all the more confirmed what is showing up. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your little observation. We do have this pressure. Tom, if you have anything you want to jump on, please, but we do have this pressure. Look at the transit right now with the head, the ajna. There is this sandwich. I mean, we have the gate 60 and the 61. They are opposition in the body graph, but they are just right to each other, next to each other in the wheel. But they are in an opposition in the body graph. So we really are in a sandwich, mental and physical pressure in the body graph at the moment to find the truth. But the truth can be found only if we accept our limitation, if we accept that we are in this body and we are deeply limited. It really is what it is. Look at that, the truth. Where can we find the truth? In our limitation. Look at what is coming next. Gate 61.
And I'm left ankle cross of limitation.
Exactly, right? Exactly. I mean, hilarious. Hilarious. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, awesome. Tom, anything you want to... You good?
Of course, but I'd like to I would like to see other people do what Jenna just did. Okay, your comments are so valuable if they're about you from a design perspective. If you're talking about the same thing, if you want to have the capacity to be able to do this, look at the transits and how they're affecting you. Let that be your comments. And then you're really making a contribution at that point, rather than just talk, talk, talk. Talk, talk, talk is fine if it's got a point, but talk, talk, talk is just noise if it doesn't have a point. We all gather here for a specific point. Okay, so other people, and then, yeah, I'm just lit up like a Christmas tree. I mean, this is such a beautiful time in life right now, such a gift, what they call holiday. What do you mean holiday? It's a holy day. We're celebrating things that are approaching divinity. We're celebrating things that are moving us towards being all that we can be.
Speaking of a holiday, that it's quite of interesting. I just realized that, but look at the wheel. There is absolutely no gate at all in the quarter of duality. The quarter of duality is a purpose that is fulfilled through bounding. Right now, the time is not about bounding with others. And yet, what are we doing during those holidays? We are all going out trying to bound with everyone, trying to connect with everyone, when as a matter of fact, the entire transit is putting a pressure on what? Mutation, initiation. It's deeply individual to mutate us. It's not a time to go bound and talk more and mind fuck more, talking about I don't know what. How funny, right? Yeah, go ahead.
You've mentioned the three centers that have nothing in them. Let's talk very specifically about what that means in terms of the spleen. All the gates in the spleen are gates of fear. No fear, folks. No fear. If you're operating on fear, you have not got the slightest chance of being a part of what's coming. You have no contribution to make towards the mutation that the universe is offering us right now. It offers it every year. But the mutation that's being offered right now is compounded by the fact that we are fixing to move from a first line to a sixth line. You don't have to be a sixth line to experience that. And I guarantee you, most of you have 6 lines in your design, no matter what your profile is. But again, how many times have I said, please go read the lines from the 1 to the 6 and you'll see the process. The 1 is always the foundation. The 55-1 is where Jupiter's at right now. What's the foundation of abundance? Look at the name of the line, cooperation, not competition. Coming together, all sitting in a boat, paddling in the same direction so we can all get where we're going. No winners, no losers. Everyone's included. Okay, so that's quite a bit to have to say when I said I didn't have anything to say. But I really would like more people, if you can stay focused on your design and what the transit is doing for you. What you're going to have to say is profound. But you can't do that if you don't pay attention to the designs. If the only time you pay attention to the transits is when Ben and I are talking about the transits, what the hell are you doing? Save yourself. We're not here to save you. We're not gurus. Save yourself. We're trying to empower you to be able to do that. We're not trying to do that for you, and we can't. Okay.
I really like your, I really start learning, not learning, but loving more and more your, because Tom has the 3955 in his design. So there's a big provocation in him that is really poking the spirit, sparkling the spirit within us. That's what the 3955 is here for, to really spark the spirit inside. And that's in Jupiter at the moment. Tom, you mentioned in that the first line cooperation, but it's in Jupiter. So that's the law at the moment for everyone, and that's what will protect us. As long as we try to compete, doesn't work. And I guess that's the tension that is coming to me as well for this new year. I'm like, I don't want to go out and compete anymore. Who is the better coach? Who is the better this, and blah blah blah. And you know what? Also, what I realized, I'm not a coach. I don't want to be identified at all with a human design coach. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. Absolutely not. I do transformation. I do alchemy. I'm a wizard. Human design is a tool, and I don't want to be a fundamentalist. And that's not the only one tool that I'm using. It's a very valuable tool, but what really I do is alchemy, transformation, and I want to cooperate with people. Big tension here, big tension. No more competition. Very interesting. All right. Any questions, comments, observation? Anyone else? Jen, another. Thank you. You say Jen. Okay. Yeah, please. Jen, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you wanna share?
Okay. Yeah. So what I wanted to share was the experience that we had with you coming in and saying, this is how I work and this is what I need. Like I need questions. I need to be shaken out when I'm in my mind. These kind of things that like really touched us. And I feel like it goes along with the individual like transits that are going on. It's like, okay, everybody has their own individual way of being needed to be loved, needed to be touched, needed to be nurtured. And so instead of trying to make this family all operate under one way, I'm really understanding the individual ways that they need to be taken care of. for example, we have Will who has the 3955. So whenever Tom is talking, I'm taking notes of that individual expression so that I can understand William so much better. And it's similar. I mean, he has his own design, so he's still different in his own individual way, but I'm really seeing the individuality of each of the kids right now.
Yeah, that's beautiful what you just say. Can I add something? Is that okay if I speak? Thank you. Yeah, so speaking of the need, what do we have? We have the gate 19 here. We have the gates of the neediest gate. That's the most needy gate in the design. The gate 19 approach the gate of wanting, and that's Saturn. So if we don't annul our law with Jupiter, abundance, so the abundance of recognizing the cooperation, the abundance of recognizing that we're going to be provided, people are going to help us, that whatever is abundance is. Then we sacrifice, we get punished, we get limited by Saturn, which is our need. And it is very important right now. We have this pressure to express our needs on an individual level, to return to the inner truth of who we are, individual level, expressing our needs. And what Jen was sharing is that I'm staying with Jen at the moment in her house. She's hosting me, and I've been clear expressing my needs. I was like, hey, could you guys recognize that when I'm going in my head, when I'm not feeling good, this is what I need. This is how I need someone to talk to me. This is what I need. And that's what works for me. And that's what I was sharing with you early on. It is okay to really be clear on what do we need? What do we want? I want people to approach me like that. I want this kind of people in my life. But then letting go completely and wait for my sacral to respond. So in some way it's being specific, but it's always to go back to general. Instead of saying, oh, I want to date this woman, her name is Marie, I want to date Marie. But what I don't know is that maybe Laura, the next month that will show up in my life, is so much more in alignment with my frequency, with what the universe has for me. So it's good to express our needs. This is what I need. I need you to approach me like that. I need you to talk like that to me. I'm a generator. I need to be asked. I need questions. I'm individual, recognizing your individual needs. Yeah, awesome, Jen, for sharing that. That really sparked me. Do you have anything you would like to say?
Would you like to go?
All right. So, Gri, would you like to say something?
Yes, it's just an observation. I have the integration channel 34, 20, and 57 defined. But I've recognized I have a tremendous pressure to find some purpose. I don't have the 28, 38, and I have the 55 and the 49, and I have to find a way to release my power, to use my power in a more in a better way than I'm doing at the moment. Using a lot of energy to think about this at the moment. So I think it's related to transit, actually.
Can I ask you some questions? Do you feel a lot of pressure in your body to take actions? Do you feel this pressure is coming from your mind? Is it okay for you to simply be still and to wait and to see what comes to you?
I try.
Is it scary? Is it scary for you to just sit and wait to see to what you respond? Let me see. Do you want to be busy doing something? Do you need to be busy during your day? Not really. So you want to be busy, but you don't need to be busy. See? Do you want to be busy using your energy correctly to something that truly matter? See? Do you want to use your energy to something that really fulfill your spirit? And is it okay for you to just wait and be patient and to see what will come to you, what will actually activate your spirit, what will provoke your spirit? Yeah. Then we could go more deeper in questions. You know, you could give me more things to ask you, so we can play this game. And actually, what I'm inviting you is that, do you have someone at home who can play this game of question with you?
Not at home, but I have a friend who is into human design. So, but I'm emotionally defined, so I'm not clear a lot of the time. So I don't know anything when she starts asking me. So it's difficult. I'm practicing. But...
Could you eventually try, try with your friend bunch of questions on? Okay, would you like to try tons of questions with your friend around different activities that potentially can interest you? You know, so you could go through some question on different activities or different things that may really activate your spirit, and then you could see how you respond to them, and then give yourself a bit of time for clarity. Does it sound good?
Easy questions is better because I get nervous and I don't know what to answer.
Yeah. Thank you for Do you feel good? Yeah. Are you complete? Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Nina. Yeah. Projector. I invite you. Would you like to share something, Nina? Oh, manifestor. That's you. I thought it was the other Nina.
No. Hello. Just kind of reflecting on a lot of what everyone is saying. With, fighting, for what you think is worth fighting for. And what really came to my mind is that, you were talking about, you were living this life, you thought you were getting what you wanted, and then when you got it, you were kind of disappointed. And the last 4 or 5 years of my life have really played out like that. Like, I literally got everything that I thought I wanted, and I was still feeling this sense of like something was missing, something was off, like I wasn't satisfied, like I wasn't happy. And I put so much blame on myself for it and kept trying to change aspects of myself. Until I, discovered human design. And the more that the deeper that I go into my experiment, the more I realized like I got what I wanted, but it was because I was also living on other people's terms. And I was trying to change aspects of myself that were things that I thought people were rejecting, but they were actually gifts of mine. And so I was constantly trying to change really beautiful aspects of myself. And so with this current transit, being with the 38 gate, I'm like, what is worth fighting for? And me is like what comes to mind, because I'm having, these thoughts that come up that are like, oh, like I miss this person or this part of my life and I want to go back to it. And I'm, having to say no. Like, do you want to continue to play in the old, or do you want to move forward? Like, what is important to me? What is best for me? What is best for my highest good? Like, how can I best be aligned with my design? So that I'm not ending a space where I'm living from the mind and getting what I want, but still not being satisfied. And so I've really had to, I've been kind of like putting myself in this little cocoon, being away from others. And whereas before I was saying yes to probably like 90% of the things that were presented to me and really acting like a generator, I'm saying no to like 90 to 95% of the things that are being presented to me, because I'm like, no, I'm either being invited or it doesn't feel right, you know, when I check in with my emotions and say, is this something that I really want to do? And most of the time it's not. And so I'm really seeing how I've been unaligned in my life. So I've been spending a lot more time with myself to be like, I am worth fighting for. The life that is best for me is what's worth fighting for. And that means making really difficult decisions or saying no and kind of setting everything down and kind of starting over. So that's been like really, really difficult, but also very rewarding in the sense. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm in this in between at the moment, but I feel more empowered and I feel more complete in that sense because I'm choosing things that are correct for myself. I'm choosing people that are correct for me. I'm sitting with my emotions and I'm really like feeling them, and instead of being ashamed or like trying to not feel them. And I've been speaking with Tom a lot, and he said something the other day that really hit me because, you know, and I've really trying to connect with my solar plexus as well. Because I have really big emotions right now. I'm really lit up with the transits as well. So it's been a very emotional time for me. And I was explaining to Tom, I was like, man, I just feel so overwhelmed. My emotions are so intense, and, you know, just judging them and saying there's something wrong with them. And he said something along the lines of like, Nina, your reaction to your emotions are just a learned response from other people's reactions to your emotions. And that really hit me. That was like another thing that I had been conditioned to not love about myself. And so I was like, wow, that's something I really need to sit with. Like, where am I judging myself and my emotions? How can I use this as a gift? And how can I, you know, be more in love with myself? And it's by letting go of that old, it's letting go of that conditioning and what I thought other people thought of me and not caring about it, and redefining, you know, how I feel about myself and making that a priority and fighting for that instead of, you know, looking to other people. So, and I told Tom the other day, you know, I'm falling more in love with myself every time I learn more about my own design. And that's just kind of like the beauty of human design for me and my own experiment and my own process. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Wow. Thank you for sharing all of that, because you gave me tons of things to respond to. That's so beautiful. I really love listening because I can hear the transit in some way speaking through you, you know, those forces that are moving us. That's what the transit is. And hearing the sun, the gate 38, opposition. Think about that, all of you. Opposition. That's what the sun is right now. We are in opposition. But with whom? Ultimately with the mind. Our own mind. When we look at the mirror, it's us. It's a fight with ourselves. And we think that it's because of people, and I'm upset because she said that to me, and I'm upset because he did this, and blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, we go into those arguments and conflict, and then it's chaos. But if we look the profound depth of the 38, opposition, the gate of the fighter, the ability to preserve individual integrity through opposition to detrimental forces. It doesn't say the ability to preserve collective integrity or tribal or others or people. No. Individual integrity through the opposition of detrimental forces. Right, that's why I'm saying this is not the end of the year. It's not. Right now, we are giving the possibility, looking back at 2021, and to be in opposition of everything that our minds have been making us feeling miserable. we are in an opposition, we fight as individual because we want to preserve our individuality. What just Nina said. I used to say yes to everyone. I used to give to everyone. I used to give up myself. I gave up myself for everyone. I was saying yes, 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 yes. And now she's like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm standing up for myself. Fourth line today, investigation. Let me investigate in my opposition so I can preserve my own individual integrity by saying no. I decide to fight. Open heart center in the transit, completely open ego. The wisdom of recognizing what is worth fighting for. Is it worthy? No. And how do we ground this energy? The earth, obstruction, the gate of provocation. When you're going to start being yourself, you're going to see how people are going to hate you. Wait a second. You used to be, my mom, I remember, Benji, you used to be nicer. I really don't like this human design guru. Are you sure you're not in a cult? It's like, no, ma'am, I'm just being me. It's a no, I don't want to do that. Well, I used to like you better. You were more fun. Yeah, of course, I was saying yes to everything. You're emotional. I was terrified of your wave. I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want to take all your emotions. If I say no, yeah, I was saying yes to everything. So when you ground yourself with the 38, you know, the opposition, the gate of the fight, I'm laughing because every Christmas and New Year, oh boy, I hated it. It was a disaster. Every Christmas, it's my birthday. I was like, fuck this. I don't want to go and do all the cakes and all of that. I don't give a fuck. Let me just go ski. I want to ski. I want to be with me and ski the whole day. We ground this provocation. They're going to provoke the spirit. Yeah. Beautifully shared, Nina. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was super cool. All right. Let's take a quick look again at the wheel. I hope that everyone is enjoying it. I hope you guys are getting some good value out of that. For those of you who are listening on Spotify, iTunes, or watching the recording on YouTube, please feel free to leave any comments, questions, observation. Thank you so much. Feel free to share with people so we can get more of our fractal line interested, more people paying attention with us. By the way, little announcement. I put, what's the name? I don't know how to say, but if you go on your profile, so in the hub, when you are in the hub 27, if you go on your profile here, you click here, then you go into personal setting here. I set up an option, an opportunity for you to invite friends. So you go on invite here. And if you get 10 people who sign up, you get a free session with me. So then you can send this share link here. So you copy here, you send, this is your personal link. So it's a referent. Yeah, I was looking for the word, referent link. And then, you know, you get a little reward. And then, you know, you just send me a text message when you have 10 people that you refer, you can get a private session with me for breathwork, design consultation, or natural healing. So galactic healing, meditation healing, whatever you want. I just said that. So that's super cool to help us to grow the hub. All right, let's go back to the wheel. And I think then we're pretty good for today. So January, it's really recognizing what works and what doesn't work, what have been worth fighting for, opposition, and then the pressure with the 54 that is coming. The 54 is about transformation. It's the channel of transformation. It's the pressure to realize what do we want to continue to transmit with the gate 32, which is the opposition, the harmonic gate. What do we want to continue to transmit? The duration, channel of transformation, a design of being driven. So that's when the drive, the pressure that we're having, recognizing what we fight for, start to slowly be here and take place. And then we're going into what? The 61, the return to the inner truth. We're really going to see that I'm driven to find out my truth. And then boom, limitation, to recognize, to accept. The first step of transcendence is to accept our limitation, to be patient, to know that there's a timing on everything. And boom, then this is the new year, gate 41. The gate 41 is a decrease, the gate of contraction. It's a pressure gate as well. And it's all about feeling, because it's pointing towards the emotional center. Ultimately, it always goes back to the solar plexus. How do we want to feel at the end of the day? You know? All right, so I hope you enjoy this transit, this beginning of the year with us. Tom, is anything you would like to add? Any question, comments, observation?
Oh, hell no, but I will anyway.
Go.
Abundance, the 55th hexagram. What is the definition of abundance? Abundance is strictly a question of spirit. Think about that, folks. You got an 8-ounce glass. It's got 4 ounces of whatever it is you want to drink. So is the glass half empty or is the glass half full? There's the barometer for how you're doing. If you see the 4 ounces of fullness, you've got the right spirit. If you see the 4 ounces of empty glass, there's need to be clear about things, okay? Just, there's so much beauty to be offered here, okay? But what I want to encourage each and every one of you, if you have the program, if you have an I Ching, look at it. Look at your own activations first, and then train yourself to look at the transits and see what the universe is actually offering you. If you do that, you will come up with the recognition that what you actually want is what the universe is actually offering. Instead of paying attention to the mind saying, your glass is half empty, you can see how the universe is constantly trying to fill your glass for you. But if you're not there holding your glass out to the universe, good luck. This is what's coming, folks. The willingness to receive as opposed to get. And when you do receive, you're going to find you want to share it with others, okay? Instead of look at what I've got, look at what I can give to others and thus continue to receive. 48th hexagram, 6th line. Incredibly beautiful line to explain to you. It's the well, okay? I don't want to paraphrase. I'm going to read it directly. And I want you to see where this stuff comes from because you have access to this. If you don't, make your next investment in I Ching. Find a minimal program. It's so available now. We used to pay God knows how much money to have this stuff. It's so available. Self-fulfillment. The 6th line of the 48th hexagram. Self-fulfillment. An undiminishable resource. That's what the well is offering you. To be an undiminishable resource. The valued center. The valued center. Do you value yourself? The valued center that as it gives, it receives and thus continues to give. Think about that. What you're willing to share with others. Look at the first line of the 55. What was it? Cooperation, right? The spirit. Are you cooperating with others or are you competing with others? When you read these lines, you're seeing how the program is actually intended to support you. When you're not paying attention to what's trying to support you, that's when you feel lack. When you feel lack, that's when you come up with all this desire about what you think you need to make you happy. The barometer for a manifester. Do you feel peaceful? The barometer for a generator. Do you feel satisfied?
Mm-hmm.
The barometer for a projector. Do you feel seen and recognized? Are you sweet because of it? The barometer for a reflector. Are you surprised or are you disappointed? This is the barometer. You have your own capacity to put your hands on your steering wheel and live your life. But when all else fails, read the damn instructions. This is the closest thing to an instruction manual I ever saw given to us. Human design is an instruction manual. When all else fails, read the instructions. That's what I do. I didn't start out doing it. It wasn't even available to us. We couldn't even understand what we were being told half the time. It takes a while, folks, but it's happening a lot faster. I'm watching people half my age or a third of my age getting it. They're getting it. They're getting it rapidly. But Ben, to have Ben for a friend and to observe Ben, what a privilege it has been. And I think he would say the same of me. I'd like to take this time out to give a shout out to Jennifer, who hosted our host so graciously. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay. To give Ben a time just to be still, to feel seen, to feel supported. And it was mutual, wasn't it? Whatever you've given him, you've received from him, right? This is the way it works. You want to be an undiminishable resource? Take care of people, help people. And notice that in helping others and giving to others, you feel satisfied, peaceful, sweet, surprised. We were not taught this stuff, folks. We were taught to be killer monkeys and compete with one another. Let go of it. Don't spend any time trying to make sense of the past because you can't make sense of the past. It was insane. It's why we all come together to find a better path. And you're fully empowered to do it. More so than you may realize. Just be yourself. Just love yourself.
Thank you, Tom.
Share with others.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Such fun, huh? Such fun. We are in the mutation, folks. This is what mutation feels like. It feels good.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we're good for today. I don't want to forget projector. So Bjorn, would you like to say anything? Do you have anything you want to say with the transit for today?
Thank you, Ben. First of all, I want to thank you all for being a part of this. The way I am developing the last year, especially, I feel more and more confident, and I don't have to initiate anymore. I'm just waiting, and I'm starting just to be aware in the gap and not doing anything at all. And to Jennifer, Gry, Nina, and all of you, I don't want to say your name, Laila, Nina, Wilbur, Sherry, Gina, all of you. You are all important humans in my life. Of course, I am a projector. I am studying systems. That's what I'm doing my whole life. And as soon as I discovered human design, I started to study the system. I have spent hundreds of hours listening to one special series from Ra, they call the Band 2. This is from the rave cosmology, the beginning before the start, and how everything appeared, this totality in Ra's perspective. And you know, we are listening to the planets. Ra is talking a lot about the 4 moons of Jupiter and how they, in an intricate way, are responsible for maintaining the whole illusion, the whole program we are a part of. And the interesting part, you know, these 4 moons of Jupiter, Ganymede, Callisto, Europe, and Io, okay? Look, I will show you one picture. Can you see just the lines? Okay, what is this? This is the almanac from 2027. This is a book. It's all published 206 years. And this year, they give us the explanation of the movement of the 4 moons of Jupiter to the public. I don't know why they appeared this year, this almanac, but you know, something is going on here in Download City. People are not aware of the 4 moons and what meaning they have. But in this almanac, it's read by tens of thousands of Norwegians, hundreds maybe of thousands, and they are inspired to take a binocle and look at them, to pay attention to the 4 moons of Jupiter. And here is the explanation, month after month, how and where you can see them using a binocle. So, projector's perspective on the first transit this year.
I loved it. Thank you, Bjorn. I loved it. It's fascinating because looking at the picture, it looks like the DNA. It looks like the movement of the DNA. So it's fascinating. Oh, wait, you have to unmute yourself again.
It is the DNA. It's the same pattern.
Yeah. Wow.
It's all pattern.
I would love to, I'm going to add some new audios, I believe, for the month of January in the hub to listen to. But at some point, Bjorn, if you feel to share those series or audio, because I believe I have Rave Cosmology, but I have only part 1, part 2. I'm not sure that I have part 3.
We can fix that.
I may have it somewhere. Yeah. But if you want to share some audios in the hub, it's nice. You're very welcome to.
Can I say something?
Yes, Tom, please.
Thank you very much. Bjorn, a projector. Would you say he's bitter or would you say he's sweet? Here's a guy who's been around the block a few times and he's a very happy human being. Okay? That's all you need to see. What an incredible thing it is to witness. You know, a lot of times when people get older, they become more cynical. They go, oh my God, blah, blah. Look at the smile on this man's face. What more do you need to see? The absolute God-spoken Bible truth of what a projector should look like. So freaking gorgeous. Thanks, Bjorn. Thank all you Vikings for showing up.
All right. Thank you very much to everyone. I hope you enjoyed this first podcast on the Rising Phoenix or Casual Sunday of the year. To remind you, what we're doing here is participating on both giving and receiving validation, recognition. We're lifting up each other. This is one of the basic foundation that I put into the basic training in the Hub 27. So that's really what we're doing, going to meeting, events, connecting with like-minded people on a regular basis. Even if we are not in the room right now, our brain are connected to everyone, and we are calibrating, balancing, vibrating frequencies, energy, to really uplift one another. So I really invite you to show up as many times as you can. If you miss one Sunday, it's fine. If you have friends who want to join us in the Hub, please feel free to share your link. Feel free to invite people. The more we are changing on a vibrational level the planet, because we linked everyone. We keep this vibration of all together. We hold the frequency all together by showing up every week, by paying attention. That's the recipe of the system. Reading books on a regular basis, listening audios on a regular basis, showing up on a regular basis. It's really doing the same things long enough, consistently, that brings mutation. So again, thank you very much to all of you. That was awesome. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing you next week. Happy New Year 2022 for the Moguls. And we will have a good celebration when the new year, the Rave New Year on Human Design will come. Bye everyone, you're the best. Feel free to unmute to say bye, sending you tons of love. Tom, thank you so much for being here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bless
Bye-bye.
every one of you.
Bye bye.